Back here at the Score Complex in Racine, Wisconsin, as we continue with the USAFL Central Regional Tournament, as the combination of the Indianapolis Giants and Milwaukee Bombers, wearing the jumpers of the Indianapolis Giants, take on the Tulsa Buffaloes, who are in the red and white jumpers. They'll be going from, I believe, right to left to start here in the first half, as the Buffs getting ready to play their first game of the day, and this combination, which we'll call the Bombers, they're wearing the Giants colors. They're mostly made up of Milwaukee Bombers. Another bounce from Steve Arnott, and we are underway here in the first half. And the Buffaloes, well, apparently they're going left to right. So the Buffs kick that one in forward. Going to get it is number 11. That's Jason Snooks for the Buffaloes. It stays in play and then rolls over and out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary throw-in. Ball comes spinning back in the play. And it's Dustin Brazel with it. It's kicked for goal. It's going to come up short. And the mark is taken there by number 7 for the Bombers, who I don't have here on our score sheet, but good mark taken by there. But you'll probably be able to tell me.
Maybe let's call them the Giants, seeing as they are wearing the Giants.
All right.
Jumpers.
I'm down with that. That one is kicked in. Again, they battle for it, and just off of hands, and fullback there for the Giants does very well to corral that through for behind. So, first score of the game goes to the Buffaloes, 1-0 Tulsa. About a minute of football played. The Indianapolis Giants, their second full season of play in the USAFL, they're steadily growing. And good to see from that city that has such a great athletic history, especially in basketball, grow in prominence. Up on the far side, though, Tulsa putting on some pressure. The kick is in towards the goal. Brazel couldn't take it, and it's through for another minor score. Brazel was falling down and thought that he just did get it through for the boot. That is a legitimate kick behind. So 2-0 Tulsa. Giants out with it. They kick to the near side and find Brenton Regal. Regal with the left foot, just off the foot of off the hands of Kurt Landry, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
He has a little spill there as he comes in to pick the footy up to throw back in here.
The fact that he's not wearing shoes, I think, may have something to do with it, Dennis.
Well, he's actually wearing thongs, as we like to call them in Australia, and that means something completely else in the US, so they call them flip-flops.
That's because you people are weird, but we love you anyway. He gets tackled, and now Tulsa again trying to move it forward. There's a handball, number 5. That's gives it to number 8, and they go inside 50 again. That's a good kick, but just a little bit wayward. Another behind. That kick may have traveled about 60 meters. 3-0 Tulsa the score. About 4 minutes gone here in the opening term. Again, if you're just joining us, 2 20-minute halves. They come out to the near side. Oh, yep. And again, that's Landry for the Giants, and we have a whistle, and it's holding the ball. So free kick to the Buffaloes, and it'll be number 4, which is Jesse Fletcher. So Fletcher, an acute angle here. The kick is on the way. It looks like it's tailing back towards the middle. It will go through, but it was touched. So Tulsa looking like the Austin Crows did in the game that we just saw, getting lots of opportunities, but not kicking them through the sticks there that give you more points. 4-0 the score, all behinds. The Giants have not been on their side of the field as of yet. And here comes Tulsa again. They handball it off to Snooks. Snooks goes inside, and a good mark. Number 21 there for Tulsa. The kick is up on the way, and there is the first kick for the Buffs. Tulsa 1 goal, 4 behinds, 10 points. and the Indianapolis Giants no score.
So it's some good manning up here on the kick out by the Buffaloes forwards as they create the turnover. Good little handball inside here to Snooks, who I think's having a shot for goal, but the ball comes off the side of his boot right to the hot spot, perfect spot, and Dustin Hayes takes a really strong grab.
We mentioned the Giants. There's a good number of players on the hometown Milwaukee Bombers. Milwaukee, about half an hour drive from where we are currently in Racine. Team that has a lot of history in the USAFL. And we're Division II runners-up as recently as 2009, I believe. And Paul Plugger O'Keefe is lurking around here somewhere.
I'm sure he's out there playing.
I know he is. I know. That's what I'm saying. I think he's down there in the back line. The heads of the two teams that are in this Giants combination, Paul Plugger O'Keefe from Milwaukee and Dr. Sam Pope from the Indianapolis Giants, a long time. He played for Louisville for many years. Another opportunity for Tulsa. Brazel, no. Check that. That was David Stevens. Couldn't get to it. They control it through the Buffaloes. Shaking away from that is number 8. He's got some help from him. They center that back. There's a kick for goal. No one in the goal square, and it's out of bounds on the full. That shows you, I guess, how stretched this Giants squad is. The fact that you had one Tulsa Buffalo in the offensive goal square. So a free kick for the Giants in just next to their behind post. 6 minutes gone. First half, 10-0 Tulsa. That's on the Real Racine scoreboard. Picked up on that far side now. They still dogpile on it. It's a kick towards the goal, and it's out on the full. But it's been all Buffaloes, all one-way traffic here in the first quarter of this match. The Buffaloes have played some tough opponents this year. They were winners of some tough matches. They were winners over the Kansas City Power at home. They traveled to Crested Butte, Colorado. Oh, good mark. We'll stop and tell you that Shane Branson, who is in made that mark over there. And now back the other way comes Tulsa. The Buffaloes went to Crested Butte, Colorado and lost 2 very tough games to the Denver Bulldogs. There's a good 1-2 play. They come inside 50, and that too has missed the mark. So Tulsa, I said it before, I'll say it again, they're controlling the play here, and it's all in good that they now have 6 scoring shots. But in order to beat some of the better teams, and especially when we get down to nationals, got to make those kicks count.
Absolutely. Straight kicking is good footy.
Smothered and out of bounds. That I believe will be a boundary throw, and it will be. Brenton Regal again over there for the Giants. So take a quick glance over at the Division II field. I see players and I see jumpers, but I'm not sure who's playing over there at the moment.
We're also playing Division II here at the moment as well.
I figured extra padding.
Yes.
Right, so no actual divisional fields. Fields are shared equally amongst the teams.
Yep. Yeah, the games are being played simultaneously. There's another behind for Tulsa. We have 2 divisions, men's divisions, and we'll have there will be a women's game a little bit later on. Featuring the New York Lady Magpies and the Columbus Gillaroos teaming up to take on the Minnesota Freeze. They kick it out to the near side, off the kick-in. Nice mark taken by number 1 for the Giants. Long kick, that's Plugger. Just over his head. Or maybe it isn't Plugger.
No, it's Plugger.
It is Plugger.
Yep.
Plugger in there. I'll tell you what, he hasn't lost any bit of his tenacity. They kick it out to the near side. Oh, good tackle and release, and the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. And again, that's number 8 for the Tulsa Buffaloes, who I unfortunately do not have a name next to. The ball comes spinning back in the play. Good punch out by the Giants, but it's going to be corralled by Steve Granfield for Tulsa, who is tackled and thrown. Play on, says the umpire. Good handball up over the top. And now, good job. Oh, look at that, just skipping away, and he's going to say he's holding the ball.
Yeah, just held onto the free just a little bit too long there. It's maybe a little unlucky. I'm not sure that he really got held properly, but
a good smother. Wow. Now, Tulsa pinching in here, and again, I don't think they've been past the goal square. Ball comes spinning back in the play. Topped around, Jesse Fletcher knocked it forward. And here's Larry Holzen out to the far side for Landry. And the ball will be out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throw-in. And the blood rule being called. Tulsa leading 12-0 on the Real Racine scoreboard. And blood rule being called. In case you're relatively new to footy, the blood rule is if a situation where a player is bleeding, he must leave the field of play to get stitched off or patched up, as the case may be. The Giants try to corral it and can't. It comes to 15 for the Giants, and now it'll be controlled by Tulsa. They take a couple of bounds. Good shepherd there, and a big booming left kick. And the mark is taken, looks like by Jason Snooks. So Snooks will go back and have a shot here. Kick is on the way. It's a good kick, but it's just short. Tapped down by the Giants. Oh, well, nope. Whoops. Right to Andrew Rose, who was sitting in front and kicks the goal. Another one for the Buffaloes. 2-6-18 to Milwaukee, no score. Played 12 minutes of this first half. And that's just good pressure there, forcing the Giants into another mistake.
So as we go to the replay here, Brian, number 7 actually has great positioning on Stevens, but the sling tackle causes him to hook his kick and it goes straight into the arms of Andrew Rose for a very fortunate goal.
Greg Forcart, the umpire with the ball at the moment, former Revolution team manager, and actually quite an experienced umpire.
Baltimore Washington Eagles.
And rabid Fremantle Dockers fan who 2 years ago made the trip out just for the grand final.
Go Frio, as a fellow Dockers fan. The mark is taken there by Pope for Indianapolis, but he kicks it right back to number 4, which is Jesse Fletcher. The ball is kicked on. Kicked back in towards inboard, but that's across the face of goal. It does find the field of play and out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
He was actually the first person to mention Matt Fyfe to me when he was first recruited by the Dockers. Told me to watch out for him, and it was a very insightful piece of advice. It's like probably having the best AFL season by an individual player ever. Hot favourite for the Brownlow, 30 votes ahead in the AFL Coaches Association in the and if any of you young AFL fans out there have a particular player you think you'd like to know yourself on, you could not do any worse than that fight for the Fremantle Dockers.
It's been great to see that Fremantle team come to surgence. For a long time, they were just a very mediocre football club, just very rarely making the finals, and just over the last 2-3 years have just really come on, and they'll want to improve on their grand final finish from a couple years ago. Here's Chris Cox for the Tulsa Buffaloes, meanwhile, who takes the mark. trying to extend his team's lead. The kick will come from 35. The kick is up on the way. It's tailing left. It'll stay left, and left it will go for a minor score. 2-7-19 for the Tulsa Buffaloes. And Milwaukee/Indianapolis, the Giants, yet to score. I do like the, real quick on the Dockers, I do like their new purple jumpers with the white chevrons.
Actually, I like the old original design, actually. With the
Good mark. I actually own one of those. Oh, they went off. Or is he going to... I think that's Shane Branscombe.
Arnold, I think, has played the mark and said he couldn't play on because he didn't go actually back and over his mark. So this is Shane Branscombe. I think he's a new addition to the Revolution squad.
He is. I believe that was Branscombe. There's some confusion with the numbers here. So we're doing our best, and we apologize if we get some of the names wrong. There's a few.
He wasn't over his mark, so
yep. So let's try this again. Steve Arnott, Greg Borkhardt are umpires, and good job there, Mark, to get away from O'Keefe. And I believe that's Andrew Sneed, who got a little bit of a shove from Plugger O'Keefe. Nice mark there. He turns around, fires that one in the Brazel direction, and Dustin Brazel goes back to take the mark.
Taking a bit from his football days there, where running with the fly to the ball, looking over his shoulder, took a good grab.
I'll say this, having played forward for as long as I have, you learn that you're almost like a group of wide receivers out there. You're running, except your patterns are unmarked. Brazel gives it off, and it looks like he probably shouldn't have. That's out of bounds on the full.
Well, you know, it's an interesting thing that the running with the ball, taking the mark, looking over your shoulder is obviously a very common thing for Americans when they play American football. And just with the ever-evolving state of AFL at the elite level, with everybody running down, flooding one end of the ground, that it's become. And you know, Nick Rewalt was probably one of the first players to really master that skill of running with the fly to the ball and showing no fear whatsoever and taking a grab, looking over his shoulder. It's becoming very much a common part of
holding the ball
these days.
Yeah, and I think the one player that I've seen that do better than anybody else here in the USAFL is John Ginsberg of the Philadelphia Hawks. He basically just is like a vacuum. He just sucks into the ball, and he'll be playing for the development team in Fort Lauderdale in 3 weeks when we go down there for the Parallel Cup. I'm sure there are other players that are around it. You've seen a couple of forwards, but just that uncanny ability to just throw yourself at the football and take the mark.
Well, it's certainly a very courageous action to do in the game, because you're always on the ball. You don't know who's coming the other direction. And
mark not taken. Go ahead.
Well, obviously there's always the potential for a collision. So it's just great when the guys show the ultimate courage, I feel, when they're running with the fly of the ball.
Good mark.
Keep their eyes on it, keep concentrating on the ball and take it.
Ball is kicked inside 50. And they get around it. They get it. Turns around and fires. And that's a behind. And that's Chris Cox. 2-8-20 for Tulsa. 2 goals, 8 behinds. Have about a minute and a half, I reckon. That's unofficial, of course. That's one thing. You do have to have a little bit of fearlessness to play this game, which makes you wonder why I played it, because I'm a giant wimp.
You say that in past tense, Brian, as if your playing day's over.
Never say never, but I kind of like what I'm doing here. I think it's fair to say, Dennis, and I'm sure that there are people who know me well who hopefully are listening to this who will tell you that I am much better at writing about this and commentating about Aussie rules football than I am playing it. That said, I've had a couple of good days in my time with the Hawks. I did win 2 Goal of the Year awards, so that's something.
I did hear your name mentioned in the comment, to talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles. In the same sentence.
Yeah, I'm good at that, at the very least. Good chance for another one by Coxey. Dan is pushed down, and it's going to be pushing the back, free kick. Not much time to go here. Imagine this is going to come close to or after the siren. So here is Dustin Hayes, the other Dustin, and it's out on the full.
A couple of steps to work into that kick.
As we're just seconds remaining here in the first half. It's been all Tulsa. And again, a very up-and-coming side. Mark has taken over there, and there, in fact, is the whistle that will end the first half. It's been all Buffaloes, one-way traffic. Giants have put up some resistance, but Tulsa would have, it's amazing, this would probably be a bigger lead if Tulsa would kick straight. But as it is, at halftime, the score is the Tulsa Buffaloes, 2 goals, 8 behinds, 20 points. Milwaukee Bombers, Indianapolis Giants, they're wearing the Giants, so we'll call them the Giants, no score. We'll be back for the second half. It's the USAFL Central Regionals here on USAFL.com.
So we do have a little bit of a arithmetic issue over there at the scoreboard. The young lady's got 2 goals, 8:30. In fact, she's now realised the error of her ways. And
that's because
a little clap from her
helper
partner or helper over there. 2-8-20, obviously just flicked the wrong little slider.
I want to know if she went
Not
to.
so much a math problem.
I was going to say, did she go to school in Philadelphia with all that public math? And I can speak to that. But anyway, it's halftime. We'll be right back here on USAFL.com. Second half about to get underway between the Giants, Indianapolis, Milwaukee combination, and the Tulsa Buffaloes, and we are in fact underway here in the second half, and Tulsa picking up right where they left off in the first half, and that is going forward, and the kick just off the side of the foot, but a good mark.
Dustin Brace is going to claim that as a pass.
Yeah.
Places out to his big teammate there.
Up, running through. Well, no. They say, hang on. We got to do this right, guys.
And the umpires have, because of the Giants' orange jumpers, have adopted green vests or T-shirts for this game, which is pretty good thinking.
Yeah, that's good thinking and rather stylish, I might add. Almost a mark taken. It's scuttled through, and in the end, I believe that's a behind. Yeah, there's the signal. Another behind for the Tulsa Buffaloes, and you know what? It's not all necessarily accuracy. They're getting the Giants are getting the ball or providing some resistance right before it goes over the line. So a couple of these are rush behinds, but in any event, it's 2-9-21 as the ball goes out on the full on that far side. You know, from here, Dennis, they almost looked like green, like just green tank tops, but I see they're now wearing the shirts underneath.
Steve Allen has a shirt, and looks like Peggy Borkard has a vest on.
Free kick to Dustin Brazel. It's going to be short. Mark is taken defensively in there by number 6 for the Giants. Out to the near side, but it's picked off. He's tackled and claimed. That should be holding the ball, and it is. So a free kick for the Giants. Kicked out to the near side. And the mark is taken nicely by Regal. And then he's tackled, and it's a throw. Good job to force the turnover there by the Buffaloes, who have put on a lot of pressure when they haven't had the ball. just over the head there of Jesse Fletcher. Picking it up is Cox. Cox turns around, kicks it towards the sticks. It's going wide. The bounce holds up nicely, but it's claimed by the Giants. Regal again over with Landry. There's a shot for goal. And it's a goal. It's going to go to Jason Snooks, number 11.
Just persistent footy there from the Buffaloes, residing in a goal there. Snooks there.
Going to the replay, and we see Jason Snooks here pouncing on the footy. He gets a great shepherd, goes to fake the handball, but realises he's the one in the most space. Then shows great composure and taking his time to settle and kick the goal.
3 goals, 9 behinds, 27 points on the real Racine scoreboard. And the Giants yet to score. Can we just pause for a second and just say how great these jerseys are, these jumpers are?
Tulsa Buffaloes.
Both teams.
Both teams, yep. I certainly agree. I really do like the colour combination and design of the Giants jumper.
And they're one of those teams. They have a pretty good support from the GWS Giants, who are having a pretty good season in the AFL.
Yeah, a little wrecked by some injuries to some key players, so if they can hang on and stay in the A, it'll be a huge effort from the GWS boys.
Especially as they try to expand the reach of footy in the Sydney region, where it's all rugby country. And there's nothing wrong with rugby, but it'd be nice to see the AFL take more of a hold now with 2 teams in the AFL. This, I believe, may be the first foray inside the 50 for the Giants, but as quick as that starts, the Buffaloes end it, and they kick that out, but back they come again pushing forward. Picked up by number 4, that's Ross Siegel. Siegel gets around, but it's taken by Sneed. Sneed, a little 1-2 with Hayes. Couldn't get the return, but Sneed picks it up. He's got to get rid of it and does. Hayes, all he can do is just got his left foot to it. He keeps it in. They'll turn around and fire again, Hayes. And that one grubs through, not picked up cleanly by 21 for Tulsa. It's paddled along Gaga style, and now Indianapolis will get it out to the near side, and there's a mark taken. The kick out. Larry Holzen with the mark. Holzen with the Band-Aid across his nose. He was the one that had to come off because of the blood rule earlier. He looks like a surgeon. Not handled cleanly by Grandfield. They tried to go up. We have a whistle and it's a throw. Seen a couple of those. So free kick to Tulsa. Jesse Fletcher, number 4. Fletcher assesses what he has and will go short. Taken by number 19. Goes to the near side, not handled cleanly, but picked up there. Goes inboard into the middle, one man there. It goes over his head. Tulsa's got numbers if they can clean onto it. Brazel, or rather that's Snooks, who turns around and kicks for goal. And he's got it.
Quite a good kick off the boot there from Snooks.
Yeah. Off balance. So that takes Tulsa on to 4-9-33. And Tulsa yet to score. I'm sorry, Tulsa is 4-9-33, and Milwaukee is yet to score. Milwaukee, Indianapolis Giants.
Milwaukee, Indy, I'm not sure which.
So going to the replay, we find a great kick here into the centre of the ground, which finds David Stevens. He's having a picnic out the back there, and then he realises, oh, I actually came here to play footy. I better latch onto this, and I'll just give a quick snap over my shoulder for a great goal.
Indianapolis, as we said, they are playing more games as a club, and they're seeing, they played hosted a tournament not too long ago with I think it was Ohio Valley and another team as well, Cleveland.
Fantastic centre tap out the end of his young raver there.
Yep. Andrew Rose goes around, and now he handballs it off. looking for Hayes on the near side, and he finds Dustin Hayes. Hayes will go out into the middle of the ground. Oh, right off the chest, looking for Fletcher and couldn't find him. So Tulsa trying to get it out of their own territory. Sean Farber just gets it onto the boot, but it's right at Plugger O'Keefe, who says, screw it, let's kick it on.
Yeah, I'm not bending down that.
Oh.
Plugger.
When you get to a certain age, though, and he's still he's no spring chicken, but you're allowed to just say, let's kick it. So the Giants with an opportunity here. Plugger goes up. Wow.
It's the Roby's own tap out.
Yep. Because sometimes you have to deal your own around here. Hayes just gets his hand to it. 20 for the Giants. Was thinking about kicking it, but saw that there would be kicking in danger. And here's numbers and the counterattack for the Buffaloes as they kick that on. Brazel has one defender around him, just gets it to the boot and lets his full forward go after it. Still down low, and finally the Giants get it clear. And the mark is taken up on that far side.
They've had some space, but now it's been filled. So their run-on's been halted here by the Buffaloes, so good defensive play by the Buffaloes.
Yep. And that's the best way to counteract a transitional counterattack, is to just man up as quickly as possible, take away all your options, and it basically just leaves you with, if you do have to give up something, it's going to be either short or a long contested kick. Off the ball in. Controlled by the Giants. Over the top, could have been in the back.
Throw there from the Giants, but
Fletcher
to the Buffalo player, so probably the same effect even if it was a throw and not play.
They'll continue on. Here's Hayes, Dustin Hayes, who gets the ball back from Snooks. Hayes goes inboard, inside 50. It's going to roll. Is it bouncing back towards the goal? Nope. Skitters through for another minor score. 4-10-34 for Tulsa. And again, it's 34-0. You look at that, but when you break down the scoring shots, I don't think Dustin Brazel will be terribly happy with what he's got with that part of it. Oh, almost a mark going over the top, but the Giants claim it. Pope, he's another one like Plugger. That gas tank is only so full, but it's out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. I think that shows how great this league is and how great this game is when you consider that the age range is so different. And you have guys out there that are still playing very well and still challenging some of these young boys. Bit of a don't argue there from Hayes. He gives it out to his back option. Left-footed kick looking for Snooks. And he's going to go back and have a look. He had Hayes coming around the left if he wanted him. But this is all Jason Snooks. On the way. And it's gone through for a goal. 5-10-40 on the Real Racine scoreboard. The Giants no score. Tulsa up by 40 points.
So we're going to take another look at this setup for goal here, Brian. And I want you to watch number 6 for the Buffaloes, Andrew Rose. This is just a great bit of roving and persistence. He gathers the ball here and wins the clearance. Can't really break that tackle, but importantly keeps his arms clear so he can get the handball away. And then he butters up again, receives the handball back. This time he does break the tackle with the don't argue. Beautiful blind turn and spin out into space. Gets the handball out to his mate who's out there on his own. And then this is just a great kick to space to the right side of Jason Snooks here, where he's got some space and gets away from his opponent and takes a nice easy chest mark.
And we've been saying this every game that we've been doing so far, Dennis, but we're going to reiterate it again, the wonderful work that the folks here at Real Racine have done to roll out the red carpet for the league and the Central Regional Tournament. And provide help with the accommodations and support and all that other stuff in this absolutely beautiful ground. It's spread out well. Some nice houses over here with some backyards. Very grassroots operation we have here. Ball goes back into the center. We're in the second half of the second half. Looking for Hayes, wanted to do a 1-2, but instead Hayes has to take it forward himself. The mark is it's dropped. The kick for goal by David Stevens is off through, but he got it right there in the goal square, and I believe that was Snooks again. But in any event, that's another goal. Checking to see who knocked that home for the Buffaloes in the goal square. But in any event, it's 6-10-46 to the Tulsa Buffaloes. And the Giants still yet to score. They've had more chances in the second half. That was, in fact, Snooks.
As we watch Stevens here in the replay, he pulls out of the marking contest at the last second. He's able to crumb and gather up the footy. Great kick over the shoulder. Bounces down in towards the forward line where Jason Snooks has managed to sneak out the back of his opponents and dribbles it through for his third goal.
Still more action here on USAFL.com. And we'll have some women's action for you a little bit later on with the New York Lady Magpies. The Columbus Jillaroos taking on the Minnesota Freeze. And we're going to see the Houston Lone Stars, I believe, next, right, Dennis?
That's correct, against the Minnesota Freeze. And we've had a centre square infringement. One of the players on the outside of the square has stepped in before the umpire's thrown the ball up. And the Tulsa Buffaloes have received a free kick.
You're only allowed 4 in that center square. Takes a hop. 21 for Tulsa, turns and kicks it in towards the full forward, and Stevens takes the mark, and this should be the 7th goal of the game for the Buffs. Kick on the way. It was a snap kick, and in fact he has missed. The old commentator jinx there. 6-11-47 for Tulsa. Milwaukee, Indianapolis, the Giants yet to score. The little bit of a breeze here. It wasn't as stiff as it was a little bit earlier. And the weather is a little bit more temperate than it was 2 weeks ago when we were out in Sacramento, California for the Western Regionals. And I dare say it was more temperate, and it will be more temperate than Fort Lauderdale.
I think they can go without saying.
Yeah.
But of course, we will be playing under lights at the Broward Stadium for the 49th Parallel Cup, and so not playing under the beating sun, I'm sure will make a difference. It's still going to be hot and humid, no question.
Yep. Landry almost took the mark. It was right off his chest for Milwaukee. Or the Giants, rather. And stood up over there as Granfield, and he's going to get a call for holding the ball. Real Racine scoreboard leads 47-0 for Tulsa. 5.5 minutes or so to go in this one. Kick up on the far side is knocked down. Controlled. Dispossessed, and now Tulsa again going forward. A large hop over the center forward's head, and the ball goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Or has he paid a mark?
Or it was on the full.
Yeah, it must have been on the full. And that is Holzen with the bandage across his face, looking up on the far side. Plugger O'Keefe in there, and ball up.
Plugger looking as felt as always.
Yep.
The G seems to get a bit of an extra prominence on play.
Yeah, that's what happens. You should see me, my beer belly, when I wear a Hawthorne jumper with the giant hawk on it. In any event, here comes Tulsa. They kick that one out to themselves into open spaces, and then he's going to end up winning the ball, Andrew Rose. Rose is going to pump that forward. He's got 2 men there, and 21 takes the mark for Tulsa. And he gives the ball off quickly with the handball. He's going to get it back, tries with the left foot, smothered. And the Giants will try to go through O'Keefe. It's a short kick and the mark taken. He's got a man on this side over here in number 19. He'll take the mark, and he'll play on with no pressure forthcoming. Low straight kick, almost controlled but not. The numbers are there. They get it on to number 12, which is David Stevens, and Stevens has kicked a goal. 7-11, 53, a Slurpee for the Tulsa Buffaloes. And on 7-11 as it turns out, and yet the score for the Giants.
Good pick up there, Brian. 7-11 on
7-11.
The 11th of the 7th. Written the US way, where they write the month first, which has always confused me.
Yes. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Dennis, the way you guys write it confuses the heck out of me too. So.
But it's the 7th. So we would write it as the 11th day of the 7th month of the year. Yours is
July 11th, the way it should be. Anyway.
Well, you have to do the conversion from the numerical symbol to the actual name, month's name.
You do, but it's the American way is better, and that's the end of that. No, I'm just kidding, of course. Yeah, of course. We have to be different. We have to be different for the sake of being different. That one's going to roll a little bit. The fullback's going to go all the way back and save it and then throw the air brakes on. That's Kevin O'Connor, the fullback for Tulsa, who closest they've gotten. And they're going to try and make another one. There's a kick for goal. That may actually be a scoring chance. But O'Connor, and that's going to be touched. And hey, they're on the board. And the crowd goes wild.
I think it's Sneed, not O'Connor.
I thought I had 14 there, but it could be Sneed.
It's a little hard to tell. The beard depends on if there's...
It may well be, but in any event, yep, out in the middle of the ground. So we have a bit of a stoppage here. The real Racine scoreboard, by the way, it's now 53-1, as the Giants have gotten on the board with that kick.
Seems to be okay. Not sure what his issue was, but he's got up and walked away, so that's a good sign.
That's always very important. So we are getting towards the end of this one here.
The delay to be starting, I imagine, is that the guy who was on the ground.
He's coming off. Yeah.
There's no apparent signs of any blood there, so...
Nope.
If it is that, it's certainly not a serious injury.
Nope, not at all. Getting towards the end here, under 2 minutes to go. Tulsa seeing this one out here. They handball it over the top there to 33 for Tulsa. They look for Hayes. Hayes can't control it cleanly. Brazel in there, digging away. He's able to get it away from the man there, and now we have a whistle. And it's going to be kicking in danger, yep.
Glad to see paid. There's been quite a fair bit of kicking off the ground. And it's pretty dangerous when players are down trying to pick the ball up. So
yep.
Brazel with the free kick here.
Going in short. Mark taken.
Finds his man.
And wanting something more, but Greg Borkhardt in there to adjudicate. So he's going to look around for this. Now throws the ball to the foot. 2-on-1 contest over the top. Looks for Snooks. Snooks kicks for goal. That one goes way wide. That's closer to Canada than it is the goal. But it's going to be kept in play on that far pocket. Why was nobody from the Giants over there to chase that down? But in the end, it's going to be out on the full. And we're in time on, if you will, as we're past the 20-minute mark. but I imagine there's about 1 minute left to play here. And truly glad that you are here watching this with us here on USAFL.com. As Central Regionals, the last of the 3 regionals series, at least of the full tournament, full squad tournaments. Out in the middle for number 19, who will run on with that one for Tulsa. See if they can get one more goal through the hands of Shane Hood. And will that count?
The siren is beating him.
Yep. That's it, full time. No, wait. They have awarded a behind.
Okay.
They have, in fact, awarded a behind, but that will be it. The issue not really in doubt. Milwaukee, the Indianapolis Giants, Milwaukee Bombers combination doing their best to stifle. They played well, some good passages of play, but in the end, Tulsa just too strong. The final score lines: the Tulsa Buffaloes, 7 goals, 12 behinds, 54 points. The Milwaukee Bombers, Indianapolis Giants combination, no goals, 1 behind, 1 point. That's going to do it for this game. We'll be back with more. You're watching the 2015 USAFL Central Regionals here on USAFL.com.